When it is that time when they're going to drop and do it for the first time, I instantly feel a little bit nervous. What I do at that point is I visualize it, and I visualize it going well. I kind of almost say to myself, they've got this, you know. It's like a little boost of positive energy towards them, and as they're dropping in, and then, yeah, always goes well.
We are here in Stubai, Austria with the GB Snowsport Park and Pipe team, and we are training for the upcoming World Cup season.
A lot of people see the pre-season training block as quite different things. At least for me, it's good for getting myself back on skis, doing all the tricks that I know I can do, and then getting ready for when I can actually go back into competitions.
No big jumps for 6 months, or no jumping for 6 months to like prime. Like, it's a big leap easing into it, but I gotta get stuff going because I don't know how many more good days I'm gonna have.
The unique thing about being here in Stubai right now is for sure the really good on-snow facility that we have with Reading at Prime Park. And on top of that, you also have the airbag at Banger Park, which is not that far away. To be able to have that where if it's a bad weather day, you have the option to go and still be skiing and working on stuff is really useful and not something that we get to do a lot.
Today we're at Banger Park in Austria, doing some new learns and refining some tricks on the airbag. So an airbag is like a big cushion landing, so it's kind of like you would see on the hill like a jump. But what we've done is, let's say, replace that snow with like a strip of an airbag which covers the whole landing, so then the guys can land or not land and still have less of an impact than they would do on the actual mountain.
Airbags are just like a different setup. We're not used to it. You get soaking wet, like we're wearing wetsuits, it's kind of funny. We get a little bit cold, especially now it's in winter and stuff. It's just different. It's all part of it. It's all part of, I don't know, trying to progress for our sport.
When you're transferring a trick from airbag to the slope, there is a lot of things that you have to kind of make sure are ready, like the takeoff, the vision that you have, how much you're landing on your feet, stuff like that. So when you do feel like you're ready, it's more like a feeling. It's more like, okay, like I feel like if I took this to the jump, there is virtually no way that I'm gonna get it wrong.
I think as a coach, on those days when they're going to do it for the first time on snow, we're there to kind of keep the confidence, and be their kind of eyes and ears on the hill, so that we're looking for those parameters that might affect them. So if the wind changes, if the light's going to change, so we can kind of keep them in the area of where they're going to be safest to do it.
Some athletes just want a little bit of motivation and a bit of hype around them because they know they're going to try something new, and it is quite scary. And some athletes just really kind of shut off and want to be left to their own devices, their own thoughts, and their own process to just go and do it.
It can feel pretty nerve-wracking just before you're about to drop in for a new trick. I think the hardest thing is to stop so much going through your mind at once. You're trying to think about all the different things that you've got to do.
Visualising it.
What's the jump looking like?
My in-run.
Getting the takeoff,
weather conditions.
The trick itself.
your heart rate, every run you can feel it.
It can be quite a lot.
It's about calming yourself down to the point where it's like, okay, let's do this correctly.
Clear your mind of everything else and just focus on doing that trick.
Yeah, as soon as you're taking off, I'm in for the ride. Like, I'm just kind of sticking to what I've wanted to do and just hope for the best.
I mean, once it's done and that is landed, it's the best thing. It's such a rewarding process because it is that big final step. Mentally, it's such a big move that once you overcome that, it's the best reward we can have in the sport as a coach, I think. I think the results are great. I think they speak for themselves and stuff, and that's awesome. But when an athlete does the trick for the first time, I think it's instantaneously like the best moment. Mood changes, everyone changes, we're all like pumped to the top, and you know, a lot of high fives going around.